involved in AI. I'm sure you've had bad kickoffs and good kickoffs. What do you do to actually get on the same footing? And
You inspect your expert. And it's just that simple. I mean, if you sign up a CRM product and it's sending out emails and it's not giving the wrong message, then that's a problem. You got to ask your customers, you got to ask your salespeople, you got to test it. You got to get on the phone and you got to call that service AI, you got to call that sales AI, you got to send in a test lead. If you're not doing a test lead at the beginning of every month and reading those responses, it's no different than checking our human responses. Because the reason we go to an AI is because humans don't always read the content and they don't match the question. How many times have we been in a dealership, you get a lead in, and the person went through a digital retailing tool. They more or less said, I want to buy that car. They already told you their trade information. They're zeroed in on their payment. They walk in the door, or a BDC calls them and says, hey, would you like to talk about your payment? Would you like to know what your trade value is? And really, they're not supposed to talk about turn-ups. Take this wrong. I just want you to be a good concierge and get them to the door for me on the floor. I want you to create an opportunity and create that connection. The problem is we just don't inspect what we expect from a lot of the tools that come across, our file.
So training the Wendy, you have a thought?
Yeah, I'd like to touch base on that at a higher level. How do we avoid problems with expectations between vendors and dealerships? As dealers, you got to use your voices, guys. Like, I can't tell you how many people, because I don't advertise, or I've been blessed enough to not have to for the last 7 years, but although I need to. So, if you know a good CMO, just kidding. But yeah, and you're also hanging a dealer flag. So sorry, buddy. But anyway, the point is you have to start the conversation the right way. You have to use your voice. You have to ask questions. If somebody said you need to talk to Wendy, she knows her BBCs. If that somebody said, because they heard something in a clubhouse room and said, you got to talk to Dave Rozek, he created 500 chat GPTs. Whoever it is, you're going to create the strategy session. You're going to have the conversation. You're investing the time, even if it's only 15 minutes. Instead of just saying, okay, send me your menu and what do you offer and I'll get back to you. Because guys, that's what we hear. We know you guys are experiencing vendor fatigue. We know this because of the same as everybody, guys, the same way we face that as a dealership. This is not our first rodeo. People do not trust car dealers because there are many who don't treat our customers, our shoppers the right way, and they make it bad for the rest of us. Guys, it's the same thing in the vendor space. There's a lot of smoke and mirrors. You have to ask the right questions to get the right answers, and the first one by your vendor should be, what is your pain point? And then when you voice that specific pain point in that moment, and will your product solve that problem for me? And then the rest of it goes on from there.
Just to add to that
Please.
real quick, is I think one of the common issues you see, especially in the dealership space, is a lot of times a product is chosen because it can provide a solution for this one problem.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden you have this huge bloat of applications and platforms and services that you're paying for and using, when in reality there's probably a solution out there that fits all of your problems, right? That can solve all of your problems. Is it always the best solution? No, but there's obviously risk and cost associated. But asking the right questions, getting the right people involved on your team, having a team, making it not just one person that's doing it, but multiple people within the dealership space, getting them involved and getting the buy-in, because it has to be a team effort to know the solution is going to work for the organization.
Put a GM, a marketing person, and a BDC or an internet person in on the conversation, and you'll solve it all right there. And bring in a fixed ops director.
Accounting and fixed ops too.
Yeah.
And then marketing.
It's getting those stakeholders in the room, allowing them to understand and ask questions about the product you're considering. But also, communication is a two-way street. It's not just about the deal. It's also about the vendor needing to understand your processes. What are your needs? How does your service department work differently than another dealer? How do you sell? What are the important things to you? So getting those stakeholders in the room allows the vendor to understand all of your business, not just one sliver. But it also allows your stakeholders to feel heard. It allows them to illustrate their key pain points. So doing that, you're going to get a better solution. But it's that two-way communication street that's most key about aligning those expectations. And it might be that, hey, our expectations and your expectations and our product don't match. That's okay. It's not the right vendor fit.
And then if we don't fit, then we recommend somebody we know that might be able to do the job for you better, because it's not about winning this round. It's about, I mean, that's difference of opinion depending upon the vendors you ask, but it's about being there to serve one another. It's about people helping people. It's about taking that second to say, hey, let's talk for 15 minutes. What is it you're trying to do? And I might say, well, I don't do that personally, but I know somebody who really does it.